Big game coverage live from Los Angeles. Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Nearside App, Texas Cheer Liquor, and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
It's here on San Antonio Sports Start, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He's Joe Ryan Engel, our AA Best Bail Bonds. Big game coverage live in Los Angeles. We're in LA. We're going to get some stars.
Absolutely. Wow.
You guys doing all right? I want to introduce you as David Rossi. I'm sorry.
13 years. That's a good run.
No question. What are you guys bringing that back? Did I read somewhere that might come back?
I'm reading it everywhere, but nobody's handed me a check yet, so we'll see. There's a lot of talk about it, but I'm hopeful. I wouldn't mind jumping back and doing some more. So we'll see. But as of right now, it's still talking stages.
Joe Mantegna with us, along with Ronnie Marmo from General Hospital fame. You guys are making the rounds on Radio Row, working on a lot of projects. And, Joe, you're always doing something. It's like a turnaround. Yeah, you never want to stop working, do you?
No. I mean, what am I going to do? I don't play golf well enough to just do that. But no, I'm happy to be here. Especially we're talking about the project we've done together for the last 5 years. We've had this play. I'm Not a Comedian. I'm Lenny Bruce that Ronnie wrote and stars in, and I directed, and we're just continuing with that. That's been a really a highlight for the last 5 years.
Tell us about the play.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
So it's about Lenny Bruce, the great Lenny Bruce. For those who don't know who Lenny was, he died in 1966 of an overdose. He was 40, but he was a comedian, and he was much more than that. But he was the first comic to get on stage and not have a set routine. He challenged the norms, society, all the things we're struggling with today. He was having that fight 60 years ago, so it's a little baffling, actually.
Why did you guys want to do this? What was the passion to do this project?
I fell in love with Lenny about 17 years ago. I did someone else's play. It was a one-man show. And it was a good script, and I had a great experience. I'm a little young for Lenny, so I knew George Carlin and Pryor and these guys. But when I did the play, I was like, wow, I have a lot in common with this guy, and I appreciate what he did. So I wanted to add more to that script, and the writer was like, no, thank you, it's written. I was like, okay. So I want to tell warts and all Lenny Bruce, So I went off and I wrote my own, and once I had it to a place, I thought, well, okay, I think it's pretty good. Let me bring it to Joe. So I brought it to Joe and see if he would help me shape the rest of it and direct it, So that's why I thought it was really important, because obviously the time we're in right now is crazy.
Right.
Cancel culture, free speech. It's always under attack. But now it feels like it's on another level.
What's the behind the curtain like when you talk about you have an idea, you take it to Joe? If Joe would have said, this is crap, I don't want anything to do with it, is it just dead?
No, we would have had
You just go to the next guy?
No, you know what? There was actually another guy who had read it, really wanted to do it, but I didn't want him to do it. I wanted Joe, because I understood that Joe I just thought he'd have a gentle hand with it and understand what I needed to do with it. But no, I mean, that's not how it works. In fact, Joe and I had spoken about it prior, like a year or two prior, but we're all busy and everybody's doing things. So no, you just kind of, if Joe would have said no, I would have said, all right, let's go have a bite to eat, and I'll go call somebody else. What do you want from me?
Well, you weren't going to say no. Was this something that you really liked, Joe, right away when you saw this?
One of my sayings in life, in the business, is if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. So in other words, I knew Ronnie. I had worked with him a bit on a few other little things prior to that. So when he came to me with this idea, I said, well, let me see what you got. And then when I saw him basically give a performance of what he had kind of written, yet it wasn't yet structured into the ultimate play form that it was going to be, I knew it was there. I felt the writing was there and his performance was there. So I says, absolutely. I think it's there. If you're open to some ideas and how I'd like to change it and stage it, maybe move some stuff around, then maybe we can do something here. And I think we worked very well together and came up with this thing. And, I've nothing else. I've been in this business long enough to at least feel, you have to trust yourself sometimes. You have to say to yourself, you know what, I think this really has merit. And then you just go for it. And he's done now over 350 performances. We've been doing it for 5 years. So I guess, maybe we weren't kidding ourselves.
It's working. Joe Mantegna joining us here on the Blitz along with Ronnie Marmo. Joe, I got to ask about Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
Is that you've done so many different things. Is that the one that most people recognize you?
Probably more so now, but you never know. It depends where I'm at. I mean, I signed as many pictures of David Rossi of Criminal Minds as I do Fat Tony on The Simpsons.
The Simpsons, yeah.
Because I've done it twice as long.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done Criminal Minds for 13 years. I'm still doing The Simpsons, and I'm in year 32 now. So it really depends. Or it could be the people who like Godfather series.
Yeah.
So hey, Joey Zaza, or or it could be, hey man, I saw you in Dean Martin. Or if it's some guy who's smoking a doobie, he'll be saying, man, Airheads, I love that movie. So you just don't.
What's the one you did? You go, God, I hope nobody ever asked me about this one.
What? And that's including you.
He just did.
I really don't have a list like that. Because I got to say, when I get off, when I ask that, I often say to myself, you know what? If I stop and think about it, I have to often remember at the time I agreed to do it, it seemed like a good idea. So I don't want to discount my impetus at that time.
I've got to be 100%. I love Criminal Minds. Love it. In the last couple of years, especially the replays that are on all the time, right. I had to stop watching. My daughter went to college. And so many of the episodes were about some college girl that came up missing. Or it was like every time, I'd watch one, I'd call Erica and just say, you doing all right? Why, Dad? It was. But
they're our biggest fan base. I swear to God, because we became viral on TikTok for some reason.
Yeah.
With the pandemic and all this. So it's like this year alone, I must have gotten, I'd say 150 invitations to high school and college girls graduations. And if I've got that Matthew Goobler must have got 1 million. And Shamar got another 1 million. So, I mean, I think what it is I think these young girls, they embrace it because they want to learn something from it. In other words, there's guys like that what thinks like this out there. I want to know about it. So I think it's because they're smart.
Well, it's true because I was like, I can't watch this anymore. And that's one of the shows that they binge everywhere. And I'm like, why are you watching that? That's but
it's somewhat educational.
It is.
As weird as it sounds, it's somewhat educational.
That's great.
When you guys look at a script for a movie or a TV series, what are you looking for? I mean, is this something you read and you know right away, or is it something you got to think about, or you don't like it right away?
Well, for me, it's when I read something, if I immediately have an instinct about it, if I identify with it somehow, unless there's a lot of money, then I find a way to identify. Right? You know what I mean? There's that version.
We have a saying: you either do it for the bucks or you do it for the yucks.
Yeah, that's right. So it depends. My standards change based on the
I hear you. I understand.
And I remember when I got the script for Searching for Bobby Fischer. I remember when I read the script, I thought to myself, "Boy, I really think this is terrific." I mean, I really thought it was one of the best things I'd ever read. And then I had just finished the movie Bugsy at the time, and I was going to a party for the movie, and Ben Kingsley was also in that movie. And Ben had been offered, been offered this part in this Bobby Fischer film. So I see him at the party. I go, Ben, I said, did you read that script, Searching for Bobby Fischer? Because I heard they were offering you a part 2. And he goes, oh, yes, Joe. I think it's one of the finest scripts I've read in my career. I said, I'm in. I figured I wasn't kidding myself. If Ben Kingsley, Gandhi thinks it's good, then I'm not, you know what I mean? So sometimes you need that little reinforcement.
Totally.
But I've got the series out now called As We See It on Amazon Prime. And it's the same thing. When I read the pilot script, I thought, this is brilliant. It's about these young people on the autism spectrum. It was really about something. It was funny. It was shocking. It was all those things. And so sometimes you just have to trust your gut and you go with it,
Yeah.
And having done it for 50 years, I would like to think I at least have some experience at that. So we'll see.
Just a little. What other projects are you working on?
Well, just that right now. I mean, I just finished a couple episodes of Barry, this show with Bill Hader and Winkler, Henry Winkler. So playing myself, I get to play Joe Mantegna.
Oh, nice.
So that was kind of fun. And then we'll see. Were
you good at it?
I'm hopefully. If not, that's it. They only get that shot, And then maybe we'll see if Criminal Minds comes back fine. But whatever. That's part of the excitement of our business. You don't know what the next phone call could take you to.
With the potential of Criminal Minds coming back, Thomas Gibson lives in San Antonio. Would he be a part of that mix?
Well, you never know. Could be. I mean, I would have no problem with that. I like Thomas very much. We got along very well. So we never know. As long as Mandy Patinkin isn't part of it, since I replaced him, and also since we killed his character in one of the episodes, I think that might be a little tricky. But no, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah, but all you guys at the BAU know how to make people disappear without a trace, so he could have come back. I mean, there's creative writing there.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. See, now your wheels are spinning.
Yeah.
Super Bowl this weekend. You're both LA types, right? Are you
Well,
going
what
for
do you
the
mean
Rams
by
in
LA
this one?
types?
Well, nobody's from here, but you've lived here a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We what is it, like a decade? You're a native or something? Like after some. I'm here 22 years, and I look. I'm a Steeler fan, so I have a problem with the Bengals. They've been cute for 3 decades. They've been a non-issue, no threat in my division. But suddenly, I'm like, oh man, they're pretty good, and I think I'm going to root for the Rams. But I could see the Rams playing tight, and I could see the Bengals just coming in with house money, just blowing them out. Rams have a hard time in the second half.
Yeah.
They seem to, it's been like a trend. It'll be interesting. I'm rooting for the Rams, but I would not be surprised if the Bengals somehow run away with it.
I'm rooting for Rams. I mean, I'm a Bears fan. I mean, I grew up in Chicago, so all the Chicago teams. But, you can go crazy rooting for Chicago teams because you have to sometimes wait 50, 100 years for a team to win again, But I lived here a long time now, and I like this Cooper Kupp especially. He's the kind of player that I thought if I was 10 years old again, he'd
be the guy.
I'd wear his jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I like this quarterback for the Bengals as well.
Yeah, Joe
So we'll
Burrow.
see. As long as it's a good game, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's.
Be good for football.
So all the stuff in Criminal Minds with the White Sox, all that was just real. You had that put into the show.
It's the Cubs.
The Cubs.
Cubs, I'm sorry, the Cubs.
Yeah. I might have had a little influence on that.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think I had a little bit of influence on that. What's funny is my character David Rossi was supposed to be from New York. But I said, but look, no. We got to make him. And we worked it out that I was in Vietnam with the guy who was a Cubs fan, and he didn't quite make it out of Vietnam. So out of respect for him, I became a Cubs fan.
Oh, that's cool.
And I figured that there could be worse reasons than that.
Okay, Joe, I got to tell you,
Yeah.
we're sitting next to each other. We're friendly. I'm a big St. Louis Cardinal fan.
Well, God bless
So
you.
we're going to be all right.
You know what? I got to say this. I have tremendous respect for the Cardinals. I mean, I know they're supposed to be the enemy and all
Right,
that.
right.
And but you know what? It's a great baseball town.
Yeah.
And you've always and we gave you Lou Brock. I mean, please. I mean, come on.
We gave you Harry Carey.
Yeah, that's true. Is that a good thing? Wait a minute. No, that was great. No, I have great respect for St. Louis that way. No, and so being from Chicago, that's a good rivalry, though.
Yeah, well, help me out here because I can tell everybody it is the best rivalry. Forget about Boston, New York. It's Cardinals, Cubs, all right?
Sorry.
Cardinal Cubs is great.
Excuse
I
me.
agree with Susan. Yeah, they're gonna have an argument there. He's a
Who
big
wants to
Yankee-
watch the pitcher hit?
Yankee
I don't
fan.
want to watch a friggin' pitcher hit.
Yeah.
Get
I
out of
wish
here.
you would have Bob Gibson there, during those years. I mean, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But you have some great teams, and I wish you would have kept Lou Brock. I mean, Ernie Broglio didn't do the job for us, but no, it's okay. I like
Yeah,
the
my
Cardinals.
dad was from St. Louis, so I was told at a young age, you want to live here?
I get it.
You're a Cardinal fan.
I get it. Well, I conceived the play Bleacher Bums, which is all about the fans, and the game that's played is the Cubs Cardinals because I thought it has to be the Cubs Cardinals.
Yeah.
That's the matchup.
Appreciate it. Good stuff, guys.
Oh, man.
Thank
Great
you.
stuff.
Joe,
Thank you.
Appreciate appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks
Thanks
for having
so
us.
Good
much.
luck.
I really
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
I
Thank
was
you
gonna
guys
say,
very much.
Go Astros real quick on our way out.
Oh, the big cheese.
As
Big
we
cheese.
continue here with our big game coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds.